What's going on, everybody? For anybody joining me live, thank you for joining me. Anybody on archive, thank you as well. I won't be on that long. All right, I won't be on that long. I shouldn't anyway. I got to get some sleep. Work very early in the morning, so I got to get some sleep. But I wanted to go ahead and do this video. Tomorrow we'll do Aftermath, ATP Aftermath. Calix and I will see you guys tomorrow. 8:45 Eastern time or less. So I'll see you guys there. But I wanted to go ahead and do this live. I think it's like pretty necessary to do this live. Look, at least for me, right? At least in my opinion. I'll give more of my take of the fight tomorrow, but a couple of people that I noticed, and look, everyone has a right to their opinion, right? But I have a right to also respond to them. So it is what it is, right? A lot of things I find odd or that I just disagree with. Like I just have a fundamental disagreement with people that have certain opinions, right? About boxing in general, but for some reason, I've been feeling this way for about 3 years now. I just feel like people are they just have odd perspectives, odd opinions, it's just odd. It's I feel like I'm in the twilight zone. And I'm like, is it just me? Or like because I use my critical thinking skills for everything, right? I cover every base when I think about shit, right? And I kind of feel like there isn't one type of person that has an opinion on Canelo. You can't do like, oh, there's Canelo lovers, Canelo haters, and then people in the middle, or like that's not a thing. I think it's like a broad spectrum, like a very broad spectrum, and maybe that's part of it because he's a huge name in the sport. You know what I mean? But I feel like, yes, you have dudes that are just irrational, like over here. And you have people that really love the guy over here, right? And then you have this whole broad spectrum of people. And they're like everywhere, right? And they're not all like, depending on what they're talking about, they're not in the same spot of the spectrum, depending on the subject of Canelo. They could be over here for one thing. They could be over here for another thing. They could be in the middle for one thing. Like no one's really ever that I seen like in the middle. Like I never see that like that, right? And look, I want to make this very clear. This is only a sport. People could feel however they want to feel. You know what I mean? None of this is to be taken personal or anything like that. If you take it personal, that whatever I say, if anybody takes it personal, that's on you, right? That's a reflection of you, no, not me. But if I really look at it, man, like, and the reason round one, and shout out to DJ Mexicano, Jesus Sam, I'll be in the evening with Calix. How you guys doing, by the way? Hit the like button. The reason I feel like I'm in a twilight zone because of the things people say, and again, I want to reiterate, everyone's allowed to have their opinion, and I'm going to give some examples here, okay? I saw Ishe Smith tweet out, I never want to see another fight like this. I'm going to give Canelo a pass for this, but I never want to see another fight like this, either right into the sunset or fight Benavidez. And I think he said Bivol too. What do you mean you're going to give Canelo a pass? Like, for fighting is mandatory, bro? For remaining active? This is what I don't get. Like, this is what I don't understand. If he fights in September, look, everything I'm telling you guys, all of it, is all facts. This is not like just I want you to understand. Yes, I state my opinion about the facts, but I still give you facts. All right? Canelo is going to, if he fights in September, that's going to be 8 fights in 3 years. 8. Now that you love every single fight, probably not. Not even I loved every fight. But it's still 8 fights in 3 years. You have guys like Errol Spence that fought twice in 3 years. You have guys like Charlo who haven't even fought in 2 years. And before that, fought maybe twice. Maybe once in the last 3 years, the guy has fought. You have other guys who get a lot of credit, and fair game, they get credit, have fought 3 times in the last, they fight once a year, maybe 4 times in the last 3 years, 5 if you're pushing it. Canelo's going on 8 fights, but Ishe Smith's talking about, oh, I'm going to give you a pass. And he said, oh, I'm only going to give him a pass because he's fighting in front of his people. Like, oh, that's it. Okay, Ishe. All due respect, I don't think Canelo needs your hall pass, brother. You know what I mean? I'll put a Ryder up against most, if not all, of your wins, brother. With all due respect. So I don't understand. He's going to come back in September. Unless there's I heard something with the right hand, and maybe he won't because of an injury, but that's the plan. And if he's back by November, like he just has to be back by December, and that's 8 fights in 3 years. Saludos to Ryder Yogi. That it's mind-boggling to me. And he's like, oh, he should just ride into the sunset. And then he does another tweet. Oh, he has nothing left to prove. Just retire. I mean, what's with this, like, telling fighters to retire shit? He's the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. Yes, he lost a decision to Bivol. So he had a little mouse in his eye, and his nose was red. He's light skinned. Against Ryder. Wow. Just right into the sunset. I mean, this is ridiculous. I'm sorry. It's ridiculous to say that. Am I crazy? I could see some Canelo fanatic that can't stand the sight of him getting knocked out. Doesn't want to see him anymore. Oh, I don't want to see him get knocked out, and the haters are going to clown the Canelo fight. I don't want him to fight no more. I could see somebody who's paranoid like that wanting him to retire out of fear of him losing. But I'm not wired that way. If Canelo fights Benavidez and gets beat down and Benavidez stops him late in the fight, I don't think that's what's going to happen. But if that happens, that's boxing. That's what happens in the sport. Like, it's not like, I'm not like paranoid about it. If Canelo wants to keep fighting, he's not a punch-drunk fighter. I'm not here to protect the guy like that, where I'm calling for his retirement. Ishe, some of you dudes that are criticizing the guy are protecting him more than his own fans. Just retire. Like, what are you talking? What are you, for what? He's on top of the world right now in his division. Like, I don't understand. I think we all understand that he's starting to slip a little, like every fighter does in their 30s. I think we understand he's not the 28, 27-year-old anymore, but he's still on top of the world at the moment. He knocked down Ryder twice. He broke his nose. He battered him. Of course, there's things, as boxing nerds that we could critique, like, oh, was he fading late in the fight? And that all that's fair game. But to be calling for the guy to retire and, oh, I'm going to give him a pass for this fight. Ishe, I'll put Ryder up against any of your wins, brother. Just like that. What's your list of fighters you beat better than Ryder? What's your list? Can you count them in one hand? With all due respect. I have a lot of respect for Ishe Smith. I just think he's off base on that one. All right? I think he's off base. They're trying to put, like, What's with this calling for fighters to retire and I wanted to go out on top? Like, that's not my interest as a boxing fan. And if Canelo fans, the fanatics don't like me hearing that, too bad. It's not my vested interest to see a fighter go out on top. What does that even mean? Like, if he wants to retire, I will support that. I will support any fighter saying, "Hey, man, I'm riding to the sunset." Cool, okay, I'll support that any day. But that's not what he wants. He wants to keep fighting. He's talking about fighting, but you guys want to retire him, Ishe, like the Ishe Smiths and all these other people. I just don't understand. I don't get it, right? Well, Jose R, that's you, but you're not Canelo, right? It's a good thing, Jose R, that you're not Canelo because you would retire and avoid the smoke. Canelo wants the smoke, right? All right, look. Feitelson, what the hell is that dude's name? The reporter from Mexico? The dude that's on A Los Golpes and shit? That dude? Bro, that is like that guy takes the cake. Like when it comes to Canelo haters, nobody beats that dude. Nobody comes close, bro. All you dudes on Twitter that think you're the top Canelo hater, you got nothing on Feitelson. Nothing. Like you got like you don't even come close. All right? I mean, that dude takes the cake. Okay? He takes the cake. I'm telling you. He takes the cake, bro. All right? Look. I saw the guy says that Canelo showed no heart. Dude, sit down, bro. Go sit down somewhere, please. Right? That he should have. Look, I wanted to see Canelo knock out Ryder. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I wanted to see the knockout, right? But like he beat him down for the majority. I scored a 10-2, bro. Like he dominated the fight. Okay, it wasn't like he didn't pitch a shutout, but if it was a baseball game, it was like 12 runs to 1. Like come on. Feitelson has got issues. Okay, I don't even know what to say about that dude. I honestly believe that guy's just playing a character, and he's just saying whatever he needs to say to cause a reaction to hate on Canelo. I just believe that. You know what I mean? So that's all I will say about that. Okay. Now, there's Dan Canobio. I think that's how you pronounce it. I could be pronouncing that wrong. I apologize. But, and I've heard it before, but look, he has a right to his opinion as well. Everyone has a right to their opinion. But I see a lot of people that are making these matter-of-fact statements, right, about Canelo that objectively aren't true. Like there's no rational reason to say the things they say. Like I'm being serious right now. There's no rational reason for the things they say, right? The guy literally says, well, Canelo, he just so casually just says it. I think he's going to fight. He's probably going to fight Berlanga, really. I mean, it's how he's moving. He ain't going to fight Benavidez. He just doesn't care what the fans think. You know, he just doesn't seem interested in fighting David. And that's a common thing I'm hearing. Oh, he just doesn't want to fight David. Oh, he just doesn't want the David Benavidez fight. You know, I don't see it. I'm sorry. I don't want to disappoint David Benavidez fans. You have every right to, if you believe in your heart that Canelo is scared of Benavidez, doesn't want to smoke with them, okay, you believe whatever you want to believe. I just don't see it, right? I don't. Honest to God truth. I don't see Canelo worried about David Benavidez. All right? And that's coming from someone where I will state without question that I want to see that fight. I want to see David Benavidez versus Canelo. I think it's a great fight. If you were to ask me to make a list of which fights I want to see, number one on the list would be David Benavidez versus Saul Canelo Alvarez. Right? I'm giving you my honest opinion here. That's my honest take. But do I feel if he fights Bivol next, does that mean he doesn't want the David Benavidez fight? No, that's not what that means. It just means he wants to fight Bivol more because he wants to get back against Bivol. That's what that means. That's all that means. It's not that complicated to me. Oh, but would you rather see the David Benavidez fight? Yes, I would. But I also know we're likely to get it next year anyway. Plus, he already mentioned them this time around. He clearly just recently said, look, I want to fight Bivol 175. He doesn't want to run it back in 175. I have no interest in a fight. I'll fight David. I could fight Charlo, and that's that. But now somebody mentioned, Moriel, and he thought about it. Who's that? And now people think he's scared of Moriel, even though he mentioned Benavidez and Charlo. I mean, I don't know what people want, right? But the line that gets to me was that the dude said that Canelo doesn't care what the fans think. That language doesn't get thrown around with any other fighter. Even though almost every fighter in the sport does more workarounds than Canelo. It's not even close. There's some dudes that haven't fought in over a year. What, do they care about pleasing the fans? They're not even fighting. Like, they're not even in the ring fighting at all. They're not fighting anybody. I saw Tank Davis get all types of credit and love for beating Ryan Garcia, but he has yet to fight a top 5 lightweight in the world. Tank Davis has not fought Haney, hasn't fought Lomachenko, right? He didn't fight Teal when Teal was around. He didn't fight, and I get the reasons. Oh, but he was with Mayweather, and they had a certain path. Whatever you want to say, Mayweather openly said he was not going to work with other promoters. He was actively saying this. He went to 140 to fight Mario Barrios. But when Canelo moves up to fight Bivol, he gets labeled. He doesn't care what the fans think. He gets that label put on. If you put that label on Canelo, you got to put it on every boxer on the planet. You got to put it on Tank. You got to put it on Spence. You got to put it on Crawford. You got to put it on all these dudes. They should all get the label. They don't care what the fans think. All of them. Every single last one of them. I'm about energy being the same across the board, ladies and gentlemen. I want the energy to be the same everywhere. Let's keep the same energy. That's all I ask, right? That's what I'm saying, Karma. And I'm not even asking I'm not asking anybody to say that about Tank. But if you're going to say it about Canelo, best believe. And then, well, what's the other thing I keep hearing? Why do you have to talk about other fighters when we're talking about Canelo? Why not? We compare. We all do pound for pound lists. We have top 10 lists in every division. Okay, like this is a sport where we compare fighters to fighters. We compare fighters to their peers. What are Canelo's peers doing? Why is one guy praised to the moon for doing not even a fourth of what Canelo's done? I don't get it. Sorry. Maybe I'm in the twilight zone. Maybe I'm lost. Maybe I just don't get it. Maybe there's a piece of the puzzle that I don't get. I don't see it, right? There's people that believe that, he's just the way they're talking. Oh, you know what Canelo's going to do? He's going to fight Berlanga next probably because, he doesn't want that smoke with any of these top guys. Like, yeah, Canelo's fought more top guys than any guy in the entire planet. He has the best resume in boxing today. What are you talking about? his reputation shows me that he's actually likely to fight Benavidez sooner than later. That's just the truth. We're talking about a guy that went over to the PBC, all right, to fight one of their fighters when he didn't have to. That's who we're talking about. We're talking about a guy who's an A-side that pays fighters way better than any other A-side ever has. That's what we're talking about. Plant made $10 million, 10 times more than he's ever made. As a guarantee. Like, I just don't understand what people are talking about here. I don't get it. The same guy that stopped Plant gets criticized for not stopping Ryder, even though that the guy that stopped Plant, Canelo, right? The other guy, Benavidez, doesn't stop Plant. He doesn't get criticized for not stopping Plant. Now, I'm not saying criticize him for not stopping Plant. That's not my opinion, right? That's not an opinion I share. But using your logic, if we're going to criticize Canelo for not stopping Ryder, even though he stopped Plant, then we should criticize Benavidez for not stopping Plant. So all I'm saying is I want to see the same energy. And now I don't want to hear the excuses for Tank, because a lot of you guys are calling him the face of boxing. You got Showbiz the adult calling him the face of boxing. We got dudes on Twitter, ego, and he's the face of boxing, yada. Okay, he's the face of boxing. So you're telling me his standard is higher than Canelo's then. So I don't want to see no fucking Raleigh fight. All right, and now, I mean, is a Cruz fight enough at this point, or should he fight the winner of should he get a pass for not fighting the winner of Haney Lomachenko? Are we going to use the same language with Tank, like things like, and say it so matter-of-factly, Al Bernstein, with all due respect? Is Al Bernstein going to say things like, Tank, he doesn't want that fight with Haney? Is he going to say that out in the open? Like he just says it so casually about Canelo not wanting to fight with David Benavidez. The Benavidez thing is all circumstantial. Benavidez just wasn't in the mix when Canelo was getting all the belts, because Benavidez missed weight. And on my channel, David Benavidez was interviewed, and he said, I got to work my way back up, right? And he did. And after the Plant fight, I think he showed he's definitely he's there again, right? And I know what people will say. Why does he have to earn the weight? Because you cannot be in a position to just get what you want like that, man. Like David Benavidez isn't a tune-up, guys. That's not a tune-up fight. That's not a guy you fight as a tune-up. I think higher of David than apparently some of you do, right? David Benavidez will have his time with Canelo in the ring. I honestly believe that fight's going to happen. I believe it. It's just that he wants the Bivol fight first. It's as simple as that. I mean, I don't understand what's so crazy about that. When you don't get the fight you want, the next question is the guy he's fighting at least a worthy adversary? Is he still a good fighter? In the case of Bivol, yes, he is, right? And now that a lot of you are declaring Tank the face of boxing, well, if he doesn't fight the winner of Haney Lomachenko, who is he going to fight? Who? Is he going to move up to 140 and fight the number 2 140-pounder on the planet? Because that's what Bivol is at the least. Number 2 175-pounder. So is the face of boxing going to do that? If he doesn't at least fight the winner of Haney Loma? I just want to make sure people understand the Pandora's box you've opened. Now that if you had been naming Tank the face of boxing and he was still a prospect, because that's how he was being run for a while, right? He's just another prospect / superstar, regular champion, right? The whole the whole enchilada would be different, but the way some of you were acting, right? Because look, let's face it. Tank fought a guy that he tapped in the rib, and the guy took a knee. Canelo fought a guy whose ribs were red. He was getting fucked up to the body, and that guy kept fighting. That's a difference. Ryder came to fight. That's what he came to do. Ryan didn't come to fight. Ryan came to throw a couple hooks, and when he realized that wasn't going to work, he looked for a way out in that fight. Right? Don't fault Ryan. I don't want to blame him too much, but that's what he did. But again, he's the face of boxing because he beat Ryan Garcia, right? Oh, because of the pay-per-view. You know what's funny about that? Tomorrow, Canelo could say, I'm going to fight KSI. Terrible fight. But it probably does more pay-per-views than the Ryder fight. It probably does over 1 million buys. Right? If he fights Jake Paul, it probably does over 1 million buys. Probably. But it would be a trash fight. But okay. Fair enough. You've opened a Pandora's box. The box is open now. With great power comes great responsibility. And I'm fully expecting the energy to be equal to the energy you're providing for Canelo. Right? Because the one thing Tank doesn't have, that Canelo does, is a stacked resume and a sear of accomplishments. Tank doesn't have that. So he has a lot of makeup to do. And his next moves are going to see a lot. Oh, but what are you comparing? No, you're comparing. You did. You started the whole, no, he's the face, not Canelo, ha ha. Okay, now we're talking. Because I can't wait to see what Tank's next move is going to be. I can't wait what it's going to be. I can't wait. I hope it's Haney versus Loma. As a boxing fan, that's what I hope. But we all know the chances are that it's not. It's more likely that Canelo fights Benavidez by next year than Tank fights Haney or Loma, the winner of that fight, by next year. And you know that. You know it's more likely that he fights David Benavidez than Tank fighting Shakur by next year. You know that. Right? If you go by the resumes and you go by the trajectory of their history, if we go by that, you know exactly that it's more than likely he's going to fight Cruz. And if Raleigh wins a belt, he'll fight Raleigh. You know that's the path they're going to go. You know it is. You know it is. Maybe I'm wrong. Right? Maybe I'm wrong. But you know it is. But I want to hear I want to hear Al Bernstein say things like, oh, he don't want to fight Shakur. We know that. So matter-of-factly like that. Because for Tank, it would actually apply because with Tank, I could factually say Tank's never fought a top 5 lightweight in the world. I could actually say that. And it's factual. I could say Tank's he fought at 140, but he fought Mario Benavidez. He didn't fight a top 5 light welterweight on the planet. I can factually say that. I can factually say that he fought one top 5 130-pounder in Pedraza in his entire career. And it's probably his best win. That or Ryan. I mean, that's what we're standing on right now. And I don't hear, people keep calling Tank a young star. Like the dude's pushing 30. He's pushing 30. He's going to be 29 years old in November. If Tank don't fight by November, his next fight's going to be at 29 years old. Tank's got maybe 3 fights in him at the most before he's 30. And people calling him a young star. Tank's not 24 like Haney, or in his mid-20s like Shakur, or in his early mid-20s like Teofimo. And he's not in that age group, guys. Tank's been around. Tank should already be a bona fide veteran, but I don't see the same energy. Yeah, a lot of you, not all of you, but you want to call him the face of boxing. Well, it's time to do face of boxing shit. That's all I'm saying. I want to see the energy. I want the same energy. That's all I'm saying. I want that same energy is all I ask, right? That's all I want. Nothing else, right? That's it. So moving forward, and let's just say moving forward. You know what these styles? I'm a nice guy. I'm gonna pardon Tank. I'm gonna give him a D-style pardon. Don't worry about the past. The past doesn't matter. Okay, you did great. You beat Ryan. Great fight. Boom. All right. I want to see you fight. Okay, young man. We call him a young man. I want you to fight the winner of Haney versus Loma. Right. That's what I want. See what I'm saying? Like, do you think that's gonna happen? Do you really believe that? People have amnesia, bro. There was a time here on YouTube, a lot of you content creators were saying things like Caleb Plant is white chocolate and Canelo's avoiding a fight with Caleb Plant. Right? The receipts are out there. Like I'm just saying. You change your tune after you beat Plant. You move the goalposts after you beat Plant. But that's exactly what I know you guys. You're out there. Like, I'm just saying. All I'm saying is, and I believe this in my heart, right? I don't think there's a problem with Canelo fighting Benavidez at all. I just think he's likely going to fight him next year. That's all I'm saying. And at the moment, Canelo is the one that, I mean, even you guys are saying he's slipping, he's losing his edge, he's gassing in the last few rounds. He doesn't look as motivated as he used to. Maybe he's got too much going on. Maybe his body's breaking down because of all the fights he's had. And I'm seeing stats out there about he only has like a couple less rounds fought than Pacquiao, right? So maybe it's taking a toll on him. So what exactly are you guys arguing? It's not like he's aging out, Benavidez. Benavidez is only going to get better. If he fights him next year, that only benefits Benavidez. It's David Benavidez is like to his benefit if it's next year. So all I'm saying, right? All I'm saying is it's okay to want to see fights, right? But if you say something that's like, in my opinion, inaccurate, or it's not historically accurate, right? Then it's going to get called out, and you can call me whatever you want. You can say, "Oh, you're a Canelo fanboy." Oh, because you just like you can say whatever you want. It doesn't matter to me. Argue the merits of my argument. I want to hear that. All right? That's all I want to hear. That's it. Simple as that. That's all I want. So anyway, that's all I have. We'll be back tomorrow. HCP Aftermath. Good evening. I'm going to go get some shut-eye, guys. I got a long shift tomorrow. Have a lot of personal shit going on as well. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Give me your opinion. Look, even if you disagree with what I say, you're more than welcome to give your opinion, right? What I ask, you're not required to do this. Like, I'm not going to delete your comment if you don't. But what I ask, right? I could ask, is that argue the merits. Argue the merits of what I said. That's all I ask, right? And I just hope that you have, at the very least, listen to what I said, right? And not just hear my voice, but actually listen to what I said. And just maybe it'll make some sense to you guys. Like a lot of you out there, right? I swear to God, I feel like I'm in a twilight zone sometimes. I feel like the way they talk about Canelo, he's the one with Tank's resume. And the way they talk about Tank, he's the one with Canelo's resume. Like, that's how I feel. I feel like the roles are reversed, right? One guy is being talked about in a certain light, and maybe it's just a thing of the moment. And another guy's being talked about like, oh, he doesn't care what the fans think. Canelo never challenges himself. Like, I just don't even know what to say to any of that. It's amazing to me. It's like we're in a topsy-turvy weekend. Remember the Hunchback in Notre Dame? Like topsy-turvy. That's how I feel. I feel like everything's topsy-turvy. Some of you talk about Tank like he has Canelo's resume. And some of you talk about Canelo like he has Tank's resume. Or not just his reputation. That's all I got to say. Peace out, guys. I'm out.